Sometimes the universe works in ways we can't even begin to understand. It sends us little signs, little messages of connection that can change everything. This is a story about one of those moments. It's a story that reminds us we are all connected in a beautiful, invisible web. It all started on a clear day in June of 2001 in a lovely town in Staffordshire, England. A young girl, just 10 years old, was at a very special celebration. It was her grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. What a wonderful milestone to witness. Everyone was happy. The air was filled with love and laughter. This young girl's name was Laura Buxton. During the celebration, Laura had a simple, sweet idea. She wanted to send a message out into the world. She took a beautiful golden helium balloon, the kind that shines brightly in the sun. On a small tag, she carefully wrote her name, "Please return to Laura Buxton." She then added her home address, hoping someone, somewhere would find it. She held the string tightly for a moment, thinking about where it might go. Then, with a hopeful heart, she let it go. She watched as the golden balloon floated up, and away, becoming a tiny speck in the vast blue sky. It was a small act, a child's simple wish sent on the wind. The balloon drifted on the air currents, a silent traveler on an incredible journey. It floated over rolling green hills and bustling towns, over quiet rivers and busy motorways. For 10 days it danced with the wind, carried far from its starting point. No one knew where it would end up. It was just a tiny, forgotten object against the immensity of the world. Who could have guessed that this little balloon was carrying more than just a name and an address? It was carrying a destiny, a small piece of magic that was about to unfold in the most unexpected way imaginable. It was on a course set by something greater than the wind. This journey was taking the balloon on a path that would link two lives together forever. It traveled an astonishing 140 miles from where young Laura had released it. Think about that for a moment. A simple party balloon, meant to last just a few hours, survived for 10 days and traveled across a significant part of the country. It was a testament to chance, or perhaps something more. The balloon's journey was nearing its end, ready to deliver its message not just to any random person, but to the one person in all the world who could truly understand its significance. The universe had a plan for this little golden balloon. After its long and lonely journey, the golden balloon finally began to lose its helium. It slowly descended back to Earth, its incredible flight coming to an end. It didn't land in a busy city or a forgotten field. Instead, it gently came to rest in a thick hedge on a farm in a county called Wiltshire. It was found by a farmer named Andy Rivers, who was checking on his property. He saw the deflated bit of gold Mylar caught among the green leaves. He might have simply thrown it away, thinking it was just another piece of litter. But something made him look closer at the little tag still attached to it. Imagine the farmer's surprise when he read the words on the tag. "Please return to Laura Buxton." He read the name and it stopped him in his tracks. He knew that name. It was a very familiar name to him. You see, his very own neighbors, the family living right next door to his farm, were named Buxton. And what was even more incredible? They had a daughter, and her name was also Laura. It seemed too strange to be true. He could have mailed it back to the address written on the tag, but instead he decided to walk over to his neighbor's house. He thought they might get a kick out of this strange and wonderful coincidence. So the farmer took the balloon and the tag and gave it to his neighbors, Peter and Eleanor Buxton. He explained where he had found it, caught in the hedge bordering their properties. They were amazed. Their daughter Laura was also about 10 years old. She was actually 9, but very close to her 10th birthday. The coincidences were already starting to pile up, one on top of the other. This Laura Buxton, who we can call Laura number 2, was just as mystified as her parents. How could a balloon with her name on it just appear in a hedge near her home? It felt like a message meant just for her. The family decided they had to respond. Laura number 2, guided by her mother, followed the instructions on the tag. She didn't mail the balloon back, but she did write a letter to the address listed. She explained the unbelievable story of how the balloon had landed right near her home. Soon after, the families connected over the telephone. The two mothers spoke first, sharing their disbelief and excitement. Then the two girls, the two Laura Buxtons, spoke to each other for the very first time. They were both shy, but they were also incredibly curious. They knew, right then and there, that they absolutely had to meet in person. The day finally came for the two Lauras to meet. There was so much anticipation and wonder in the air. What would they be like? Would they have anything in common besides their name? The family of Laura number 1, the girl who released the balloon, drove the long distance to meet Laura number 2 and her family. When they finally stood face to face, everyone was speechless. The similarities between the two girls were absolutely stunning. It was like looking in a mirror. They were both tall for their age and had the exact same build. They both had lovely brown hair, and they even wore it in the same style with a few wisps at the front. But the resemblances didn't stop with their height and hair. As they looked at each other, they realized something even stranger. They were wearing almost the exact same outfit. Both girls had shown up to this extraordinary meeting dressed in a cozy pink sweater and a pair of blue jeans. They hadn't planned it, of course. How could they have? It was just another layer in this incredible story of connection. It was a powerful, visual sign that something truly special was happening. For everyone there, it was a moment of pure awe, a confirmation that this was more than just a simple coincidence. It felt like they were destined to meet. As the two families began to talk and get to know one another, they uncovered even more parallels that sent shivers down their spines. The girls started talking about their pets, as young children often do. Laura number 1 mentioned that she had a dog. Laura number 2's eyes lit up. She had a dog too. They discovered that both of them owned a beautiful 3-year-old black Labrador retriever. But it gets even more unbelievable. They both also owned a pet rabbit, and both rabbits were gray. And as if that wasn't enough, they both had a pet guinea pig. The universe was truly showing off now. The story of the pets has one more amazing detail. Both girls, without knowing the other would do so, had decided to bring their guinea pigs with them to the meeting. When they took the pets out of their cages, they saw that the two guinea pigs were the same color. And what's more, they both had the exact same distinctive orange markings on their hindquarters. At this point, what can you do but laugh and shake your head in wonder? The two Lauras, the two black labs, the two gray rabbits, and the two nearly identical guinea pigs. It was a story so fantastic, it almost sounded like fiction. This incredible meeting, sparked by a single golden balloon, was the beginning of a beautiful and lasting friendship. The two Laura Buxtons didn't just meet once and go their separate ways. The bond that was forged that day was too strong and too special to ignore. They became very good friends, staying in touch through letters and phone calls. Their families made sure they saw each other whenever they could, even though they lived miles apart. They had been brought together by the most impossible of circumstances, and that shared experience created a connection that would last for many, many years. They were a part of each other's story now. It's important to know that while the story is amazing, some versions you might hear online have small exaggerations. For example, the balloon didn't land right in Laura number 2's backyard, but in a hedge nearby. And the girls weren't exactly the same age. One was 10 and the other was nearly 10. But these small details don't take away from the magic of the story. In fact, they make it more real. The core facts, the balloon, the 140-mile journey, the two Lauras, their striking similarities in appearance, and their astonishingly similar pets, are all absolutely true. The truth of it is more than enough to fill us with wonder. Their story teaches us something profound about the world we live in. It encourages us to look for the magic in our own lives. It reminds us that incredible things can and do happen. We live in a world full of possibilities, where a simple act of hope, like releasing a balloon, can lead to the most extraordinary outcome. It challenges us to believe in things we cannot see, and to be open to the connections that are all around us. The story of the two Lauras is a gift. It is a reminder that the universe is vast and mysterious, but it is also intimate and personal, weaving our lives together in the most beautiful patterns. So, what can we take away from this? We can learn to embrace the wonderful, unexplainable moments in life. We can choose to see the connections instead of just the coincidences. The story of Laura and Laura is about more than just a balloon. It's about friendship. It's about destiny. It's about the invisible threads that tie us all together. It asks us to believe that even when we feel alone, there might be someone out there who is more like us than we could ever imagine, just waiting for a sign, perhaps carried on the wind, to bring us together.